What you're about to hear could be the most important podcast ever created. But probably not. Welcome. It's the Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
Oh, you know, it's exciting when one of us yells out, I got something.
Yeah, especially when it's Brady.
Hey.
He's got something.
And you were just at the doctor, so what is it? What do you have?
I'm itchy. No,
I still like that, please.
guys, Daniel reached out to us. He loves the show, and he sent me a link. I haven't actually clicked on it yet. It says 4 best hot tub podcasts you must follow in 2024 from feedspot.com. So let's see where we rank.
Oh.
Okay, at number 4 here. It's Hot Tub Hot Takes. Andrew and Sophia, they've graduated from the shower, and now they take their fill. Okay, I don't care about that.
That's okay. That's okay. We don't want to be that.
No, we don't want to be number 4.
Yeah.
Number 3, it's called Hot Tub Beer.
Okay, not us. No.
Hanging out in the hot tub while drinking.
This is still
Okay.
good. This is
Reviewing
good.
craft beer. Okay, that's fine. Number 2, Spa Retailer out of Norman, Oklahoma.
Okay.
All right.
Podcast on buying hot tubs.
Which, you know what that means?
Endless
okay,
information.
so
All right,
the
gonna
best
scroll
hot
up here.
tub podcast.
What? Tub Talk with the Hot Tub Lady.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
They didn't even make top 5.
Out of South Dakota?
Why would he send that to you?
South
Yeah.
Dakota.
And they only have 1 episode. Oh.
I have to go back to the beginning of this. Why is there only the top 4?
Maybe we were number 5,
Maybe.
and he just wanted to cut us out.
Wow, and this came out February 21st, 2024.
No.
Like, we've existed before this came out.
Oh.
They just didn't find us?
So we'll pretend we're number 5?
Yeah.
I guess we could
must
say
be.
that.
I'll take number
I mean,
5.
we're top 5
Right.
hot tub podcasts
Now,
globally.
in our defense or not, we never really talk about hot tubs,
No,
honestly.
that's true. Maybe the Hot Tub Podcast had to actually do with an actual hot
Yeah,
tub.
exactly.
I don't think it
don't
did.
think so?
I don't know
think
if
so.
some of the other ones do.
No.
They're reviewing craft beer.
Yeah.
We really need to start asking for reviews then.
Yeah. This is not good.
Well, if you're listening to this, review it. Thanks.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
yeah.
In fact, review it now before you hear the crap that's coming.
Yeah. That's a good
Yeah.
call. Yeah, and do us a favor, email feedspot.com. Thank you.
All right, let's go with the Hot Tub Podcast.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
Firefighters have a pretty harrowing job at times. So they probably get a kick out of, their less intense calls, like the cats in the tree kind of thing. Firefighters in Britain responded to an unusual call last week when they were told that a man had his hand trapped down the back of a sofa.
What?
In there.
You've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
The firefighters were able to help the man extract his arm. He wasn't injured, but he did suffer a, quote, slight reddening of the hand. It's unclear how he got his arm jammed, which is what we all want to know, or how he was able to call if no one was there to help him.
He was looking for change.
Probably. Now, one of the firefighters said, it really isn't just fires. I'm pleased we were able to help the man without hurting him further or damaging his couch. He also said that they checked in the next day to make sure he was okay. It's unclear how that went, but assuming that no news is good news.
Did he just let go of the remote control and then they were able to slip his hand right out? Is that what happened?
Well, like growing up, we used to be around the pull-out sofas.
Yes.
And you'd always get your hand jammed in one of those
Yeah.
when you were putting it back in sort of
Yes.
thing. It was almost like a running joke for the kids.
Yeah.
You try to get your buddy's arms stuck in it.
And the springs there.
Oh,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's things that I remember getting a bean stuck up my nose as a kid. You're just being an idiot.
I had a bean up my nose when I was a
You
kid
did,
too.
yes.
Had
And
to
how
go
did
to
it
the
come
hospital.
out? So did I.
Yeah.
And it came out while we were waiting for the
Well,
doctor.
we're working with idiots.
I know. No kidding.
I mean, I was younger then.
You guys have never
Yeah.
stuck anything up your nose before?
No.
I've never had to go to the hospital because I had a
cocaine.
bean in my nose.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cocaine, but that just comes out easily.
sure. Yeah.
It's just puffy.
No, not really when I was a kid.
No, I never stuck anything in myself anywhere along the way.
Oh, okay. There it is.
Yeah, I'll hang on to that.
There it
Thanks.
is.
I'm proud to say that. You can play that on repeat.
fine, yeah.
I'm okay with that. I just, I don't know why, if we're going to be, why people do that.
That-
I mean, I was 3, so.
No, I mean the other thing.
Oh,
like when
that thing.
people they go to the hospital and they
Things
always
that
say,
they fell.
I sat on it or
Yes,
whatever by
yeah.
accident.
Ah,
Yeah.
It's
right.
like,
Yeah.
no, you
Well,
didn't.
Yeah. I mean, there's just safer things you can use. If that's your jam, you do you.
Jam is not
That's not the right
Jam is the wrong term.
Maybe it's the right one. I don't know.
if that's your no,
Yeah.
I'm not judging
Knocking it,
anyone,
no.
but just you pick the right thing.
That's it. Be
Yeah.
safe about
Or,
it.
there's things that are made for that.
That's what I mean.
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like fruits and vegetables should be off the table.
Well, I think that's the problem. They're coming off the
they're
table.
coming off the table and into other places.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like a G.I. Joe is not
Yeah.
the way to go.
No,
The greatest American hero.
not up there. He's not.
No. It's quite the battle.
Humiliating, yeah. But you have to think about these people get themselves into these situations and then knowing that they had to resort to calling 911 or
Yeah.
going to the
Yeah,
hospital,
that's gotta be tough.
Yeah.
Like, do you call a friend first?
I don't know. Do you call a
No.
friend? Because the friend the doctor you're never going to see again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't think you do call a friend because really, what are they going to do? That takes your relationship to the
Yeah.
next level if they're working on that for you.
I know, but what would you call a friend who was a doctor before going to the hospital?
No, I'd rather somebody I didn't know
Yeah, I'd rather the stranger,
that I'd
Oh,
never
yeah?
see again.
Yeah, but then you
hopefully.
have to get to the hospital too, right? Whether you're calling the ambulance, or you're trying to drive or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then
How
you
do
got to
you
go
get
and you
there?
talk to the nurse and triage,
Yeah.
and you got to
It
explain.
sucks.
You got to talk to
Yeah.
multiple people. You wouldn't rather just one.
And what if they
Buddy?
aren't you rushed
Yeah, no,
from the morning hot tub?
Yeah. That's true. Like, that sort of changes things a little bit, too. When
I
if
think
you're
you're
gonna be
driving
known.
the extra mile to get out of town.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh
So
so
my
that nobody
God.
knows you.
I think you're assuming this is comfortable enough that you're going the extra mile.
Yeah.
Again, I think the important thing is, don't put anything in there
Well, I
to
know.
avoid the
Yeah.
situation.
It sounds
So-
like they've already gone the extra mile,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
That's
But-
right, yeah.
Yeah, I
Didn't
think
need to go there.
I think I'd call
Sorry.
a friend.
You would.
That's what friends are for.
Who
Yeah.
would you call out of all three of
Oh,
us?
good
Out
question.
of the
Yeah.
three of you.
Yeah.
Who would I call? Brady.
Yeah.
Really?
I think I'd be the
guess
most.
so. Yeah, I feel like he's done this with his friends.
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
I feel like that's my world.
It feels like, he's got experience in
Yeah.
this.
I don't, but I feel like, I could.
If there was one.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
I'd be more compassionate, I feel like.
I think I would call any of you, though. I
Yeah.
think you would
Yeah.
all be compassionate on different
And we wouldn't
levels.
say anything.
No,
I mean,
I
I'd
don't
tell
think you
Derek,
would.
but
You
that's
would tell
probably
Derek?
Yeah.
probably. You'd have
Really?
to.
I
What if
mean,
I
come
said,
on.
Jenny, you cannot tell Derek?
I wouldn't, or I'd tell you I wouldn't.
Yeah, exactly. You tell me what. That's fine.
Tell him?
Yeah.
Because
I
the
mean,
next time
yeah.
I see him, then
Yeah.
I've got to...
But you don't know that he knows
Yes,
that
right,
I
right.
know.
You
Yeah.
just said.
Yeah, well,
Let's be
know.
honest. You're not dying with that secret.
No.
Like, you're telling someone at
Absolutely
some
not.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
That's
you,
a
How do
tough
you not?
one.
you have to.
Just your
Yeah.
partner. I wouldn't tell anybody else.
Yes, you would.
But I
True.
would need, no, I wouldn't. I would only tell Derek just to have somebody to talk to.
Why do you need to talk to
I need to
somebody?
tell the
That's
story.
because that's a lot to have.
Yeah.
and
you
it's
know.
also a traumatic experience for Jenny.
Absolutely
Like, she's
it
got
is,
to,
yeah.
you
Okay.
know.
Yeah.
So then you're saying that.
Yeah.
Let's say it happened to your husband. If you're saying you have to tell somebody else, then who do you tell after that? Then.
Nobody. That
Oh.
I can still talk to him
Oh
about
well,
it.
great.
You know?
I've known you like triple the time of Derek, but I'm being thrown into the bus now. Everybody's gonna know because Derek opens his
no.
lips all the time.
He does not. He would keep it a secret. He's
No.
very good
That's
at
a
keeping
tough secret
secrets.
to keep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
it
that's
is
a
tough.
doozy. But you got it because
It
you
just
know
takes
that's,
one.
that's a
'Cause
sensitive.
I'm not
topic.
saying Derek would say me specifically, but
No.
he would go into
Yeah.
the pro shop and
Oh.
say, "Hey, there's this guy.
I know
oh my
somebody,
God.
yeah.
They're not going to
Yeah.
believe.
Yeah, exactly. I don't trust that at all.
And that's juicy.
Lisa would tell people. Your
is.
Rush's wife
How do you-
would tell people.
How do you not tell people that story?
I would
Yeah.
not.
It is. I mean, without using
Brady
I
names.
think you
For
would.
sure.
I think
Oh,
it's easy
yeah.
to say you wouldn't. I think
It's
we're just
kind of
being honest
harmless
about
if you're
it.
not using names,
Yeah,
though.
it is.
Honestly,
Yeah.
Rush,
Be
if you
anybody.
called me and said, Molly, you got to get over here to get this thing out, I'd be like, okay, I'm on it.
Yeah.
And not literally.
That's right. Clearly I am. Yeah.
I get that out. And then I don't tell anybody.
You
You're
say that
telling your
now.
wife.
Of course you are.
You're
telling your
100%
wife.
You
getting
can go
home.
and tell. You can say you wouldn't say anything now, but we know that's not true.
We all agree we tell our spouses.
Okay,
sure.
yes.
But
Yeah.
then I know my wife wouldn't tell anyone.
Yes, and I know Derek wouldn't tell
yeah,
anyone.
Sarah wouldn't tell
disagree.
anybody.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll all be quiet then. Nobody's feel free.
Fine.
In
Go
fact-
to town. Put anything you want in there because it'll all stay a
Sarah
secret.
is a medical professional. I bring her with me.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh,
Or
maybe
just
I
get
should
her
call.
to,
Yeah, I should call
Sure,
Sarah before you.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what are you doing at that point?
yeah.
Moral support.
You'll hold your hand.
For some reason, I feel like Brady has a miner's hat in his closet. I feel like
I mean,
he'd
that would be
show up.
helpful. The light.
Got
With
it.
the light on the top.
Absolutely.
The Hot Tub Podcast. With Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
A Wisconsin man, his name is Ronald Gorski, has officially eaten 34,128 Big Macs.
Been there.
Wow, that's
He
a lot of Big
began
Macs.
his burger binge on May 17th, 1972, and he saved every single McDonald's receipt since. He's been in love with Big Macs since his first bite. He said, "In that moment, I said, I'm going to probably eat these for the rest of my life." Now, while he used to eat about 9 sandwiches a day, he now consumes about 2. However, he's still not tired of them.
Nine a
nine
day?
a
That's a lot.
day. Yeah. People who have watched me eating a Big Mac often comment that I look like I'm eating one for the very first time. Like, you
Okay.
have to love something to
Yeah.
eat 9 of them a day.
It's so weird that he's made that his whole personality.
Yeah.
He's the Big Mac guy.
But maybe.
Is he still hoping for like a major endorsement deal? Like, is that
Probably.
he's been waiting for so long for McDonald's to say we're going to give you a national campaign, and it hasn't happened.
Well, he's got a book.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
That's
Well, look
something.
at that. So, can we do some quick math here? If you just get an individual Big Mac, what is 34,128 times? What are they? $6
but
or
if
something?
he's doing it for years, though, they've gone up in price.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
So it's hard to
true.
tell. Yeah,
So if
they
you
really
take
have.
an average, even put it at $3 or
Were
something.
they ever a dollar? Did they
There
ever
might
have
have
those
been, yeah.
savings? I don't know.
Maybe
So
he's a lot of
the price
coupons.
varies from state to state. At the cheapest, though, it's $3.91 for
Okay.
one. So $3.91. And how many was it?
34,128
34. I'll just do
When did he
34,000.
start?
But again, in the 70s, right?
in the 70s.
Like
Yeah.
they were much
They
less
could
in
have
the
been
70s.
59
Yeah.
cents.
Yeah. So let's say it was $3.91. He spent over $130,000.
Okay.
That's not
on Big
actually as
Macs.
much as I
Well,
thought.
then, I think of like Gary, our sales weasel.
Yeah.
If Gary was eating Big Macs 9 a day, I wouldn't know. Don't care.
No, wouldn't care. Like,
whatever.
all right.
I would
Yeah.
want to know this. I would want to
Well,
watch it.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
But it would be interesting for the day or two.
Yeah.
And,
And
that
then
would
it
be
would
it.
just be
And would it
normal,
be?
yeah.
Because again, you're still watching him eat a Big Mac.
It would be interesting for a bite or two.
Yeah, and
And
then
then
No, I
it's
would
just a
just
guy eating a
stare
Big
at him the
Mac.
whole time.
Because
Make
there's
it
a
so
lot of people
uncomfortable.
like who is maybe I'm thinking Trump. Like who drinks Diet Coke like it's water?
Oh, I think Trump does, doesn't he?
I thought so. Yeah.
He has a button on his desk where
Yeah,
he
I
did
would
when he
have
was
thought so. Yeah.
president.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly getting Diet
Yeah.
Cokes. People have their thing.
Sure.
There's got to be people listening right now that have 9 coffees a day.
Oh,
I'm sure.
probably.
Absolutely.
So much coffee. Yeah, Trump apparently has about a dozen Diet Cokes a
Yeah,
day.
it's a lot.
So much caffeine,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Is there a lot of caffeine in a Coke?
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
Diet Coke?
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
assume.
There is.
But I
So
think
that
there's a
he's
lot of
replaced it with coffee.
sodium in Big
Yeah.
Mac.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Fair amount, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow, yeah, no, there's a lot. 3 to 4 times less than coffee, but still quite a bit of
Still quite a bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
still enough that if you're having 12 a day. But I think there's people who drink like probably 4 or 5 large coffees from somewhere
Yes.
a day.
And think
that's
of it
their
this
normal.
way: would you like to watch them drinking coffee?
No, you're
No.
not. I'm sorry,
Like,
no.
okay. Yeah.
No. But a Big Mac is different. It's so messy too.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
so
you
good,
just
though.
feel like licking your fingers all the time.
I can
With
eat a
that-
Big Mac with.
a nice like
Can
that.
you eat a
I'll
Big
hang
Mac
on to
without licking your fingers?
Yes.
Yes.
Sure.
Well,
I don't
it's
really
with
lick my
napkin.
fingers.
Yeah,
a
I
lot.
use napkins.
Well, yeah,
like,
but
you know,
no,
I'm
it's
not a
more fun.
heathen.
Sometimes you get a little lettuce with the dressing on there, the Big Mac sauce.
I know what you mean, but on your
Yeah.
fingers, how messy are you?
Yeah.
Well, it's not me. It's the maker of the Big Mac.
Okay.
If there's stuff falling out the back, I am definitely. Hang on.
Yeah, careful.
I'm not using a napkin.
I
Okay.
always made that joke though, like when maybe my mom said it, like, "Oh, things are falling at the back." I go, "How do you know it's not the front?"
It's true.
Oh, that is true.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, it's all in how I hold it. I'm the decider of
You
the
are
front
the
and the back.
decider. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
Are you isolating
I
that?
think that was fine. Yeah.
You're
But
the
I also,
decider.
I think you know by looking at it, you're like, okay, this is where I need to, like, this is the front.
But it's not.
Oh,
But you decide.
yeah,
You
that's
know
what.
one looks like the back and one looks like the
Yeah,
front.
but wouldn't it be whatever you eat first?
This
Like,
is
if
what
you
I was
take
going to
your
say.
first
When
bite?
it's
Therefore, you have
around,
decided.
wherever you take the bite,
Yeah,
that's the front.
exactly.
Now,
But then it's
if
coming
you turn
out.
it around afterwards, now it's
Now
to the
it's
back.
Right.
No,
the front
see,
now.
I don't know, guys. Like, if I was taking a slice of pizza and was eating the crust first, you'd say I was eating the back of the pizza.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a different food. That's completely
This
different
is-
because that's it's the same all around.
There's a whole debate that goes on there. Well, like, what is the top and the bottom of a pizza slice?
well,
and
that
I-
is easy.
I don't want to get into that one again.
See, no, I would say the bottom of the pizza is the pointy, right? A piece of pizza is the pointy
See,
area.
a lot
Right.
of people would say it's
Okay.
the top because that's where you eat first.
But it's the bottom of the.
What,
no.
what happens when you get like a pizza that comes in a square or rectangle?
Oh,
about that?
yeah.
Then where's the front and
Oh,
back
God.
and
I need time.
end and
See? This
I
is-
can't decide.
Yeah.
which way
I
to
said
win.
I didn't want to get into this. It's too much for this
It
show.
is too much.
It's
You're
too
right.
much.
We're not ready.
like I'm a weirdo. I eat sandwiches crust first.
Like, do you
That
go
is so-
around?
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
I'll do the edges. Like, if say you cut it in half, right? The
Yep.
sandwich in half. I'll do the 2 edges with the crust, then eat the middle, and then finish with the crust at the
so
back.
so weird.
I always finish with the middle of the sandwich
Oh,
because
you
it's
eat
got all the
around.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That is
weird.
I
definitely-
like finishing on the
But then what are
high.
you holding
Okay.
on to? You're holding on to the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
Oh,
two
then your
fingers.
fingers are all over
I'm not,
everything.
I'm not 3.
Sounds like you kind of are. You're eating it
Sort
wrong.
of,
man.
yeah.
No, I'm not. See, if I was 3, I would not eat the crust.
Oh yeah, you
no,
just
that's
eat
true.
around.
Yeah,
But
it.
if somebody
yeah.
jumps into watching you eat a sandwich and they
Yes.
jump in late, it looks like you don't eat the crust.
Yeah.
Because you're just.
Well,
But,
no,
but,
there's nothing else on my plate, though.
but all the crust is gone.
Yeah, it looks
So
like-
it looks
like
like somebody
Ruth
cut
cut
off
it
the
off.
crust for you.
Like Ruth
Yeah.
cut your crust off.
Yeah, that's what it would look like.
Which I wouldn't
cute.
mind, honey, if you're listening.
Yeah, so there you go.
I've been man enough to ask but if you could cut the crust.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
It seems like Gen Z just came up with bed rotting yesterday, but they've already got a new term for it. Remember when we talked about bed rotting?
Okay, so remind me what that is.
Okay, so it's this new term they have for
Yeah.
it means the same thing, but it's basically you should get up. It's time to get up, but you stay in bed anyway.
Staying in bed all
Okay.
So
day.
they called it bed rotting,
Okay.
and now they have a new term. It's called Herkle-Durkle.
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 It's way more fun. It's all over TikTok right now. It's an old Scottish term for when it's time to get up, but you stay in bed anyway.
Okay, so it actually is a term.
It is.
But what does it mean?
Herkle-Durkle.
Where does
Like,
that
for
come
example, I'll use it in a sentence. I was late for work because I Herkle-Durkled for a solid 20 minutes today.
That doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're doing
Yeah,
Exactly,
it's not
yeah.
I mean, it sounds like you could be staying in bed. But
Yeah.
no,
I
but bed
love
rotting.
Herkle-Durkle.
Bed
Yeah.
rotting kind of describes
It
Yeah,
has
it.
such
I
a
like that.
negative connotation, though. Like, it makes you feel like you should feel shame.
Sure,
When
okay.
you're bed
Well,
rotting.
if you have to be at work,
Yeah,
you
that's
should
exactly.
feel
You probably
shame.
should feel shame here.
Maybe it was a really rough night. I don't hate Herkle-Durkle.
It
I
just-
just like
it sounds
saying
it.
dirty. Sounds dirty.
I like mossing. Mossing's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mossing.
Yeah,
Okay.
You're just like hanging out. You're turning into moss.
Like
Yeah.
all joking aside, how long can you stay in bed before the guilt really would kick in?
It depends. Do I have stuff to do?
Well, let's say Rory's away at a
is
sleepover.
the TV on?
The TV's working.
Yeah.
But like, could you stay in there for 48 hours? Like, could you stay in bed all weekend?
I'd never feel
minus
guilty.
bathroom.
All
Yeah.
weekend? No.
No chance.
I would lose
I
my
wouldn't
mind.
want to, but it's not guilt that gets me up. It's just
No?
boredom. Yeah, I never
boredom.
feel guilty about things like that.
Yeah.
If I'm doing what I want to be doing, I don't really
Well,
care.
I'd have some guilt.
no.
Like, I got the bad flu a few weeks ago, and I was
Yeah,
a
but that's different.
solid.
No, that's
Yeah.
No,
no,
I
that's
know,
different.
but
That's when
I'm
you're
telling
sick.
you exactly. But I watched. I think it was like 32 episodes of Below Deck.
That's insanity.
You
and I
do
thought
that not sick
That's
too.
what I was just
Yeah.
gonna say. I could have actually done that, not being sick.
Yeah.
and
stayed
you don't
in
have
bed.
guilt then? You don't have
Yeah,
FOMO? You don't feel
I
like...
tend to stay on top of things that I need to get done. So if I have a weekend where I can just
Yeah.
chill, I'll binge
If
whatever.
I felt like I had other things I needed to do,
Yes.
and like if there's work piling up or something, that would be different. But again,
but Rush, let me ask you. So on a day like where it's 20 degrees and the sun is shining and you can hear people outside and the birds and everything, you don't have any guilt that if you're in bed for 8 hours just
No.
missing that?
Like, I would never have- I would
like
never
the
have
middle
guilt
of the
about
winter,
it.
I'm
Yeah.
with you.
No.
But like on a nice summer day,
it's
I would
not
have
guilt.
such guilt.
I would probably prefer to go outside, so I would choose to do it. But if I'm staying in bed, it's because I'm choosing to do that.
What's
Like
the captain's
it's never a
name
guilt
in
thing.
Below Deck Down Under?
Which captain?
The captain.
You've
Below
watched
Deck
30
Down Under.
million episodes
And you're
you don't
asking
know?
Brady.
It's Jason?
Glenn.
No, not Glenn. The hot captain.
Oh, yeah, Jason, yeah.
Jason. If you saw Captain Jason, you too could have watched 32 episodes
He's a
of
good-looking
Below
man.
Deck.
So
He's a good-looking
if
man.
I saw, what is it, Captain
Captain
Glenn?
Jason?
Oh,
Yeah.
Captain
Yeah.
Jason.
Yes.
Would I be Herkle-Durkling?
You'd Herkle-Durkle till the end of time.
That's terrible. That's just...
Yeah, and we've retired the term.
No, Rush. It
No.
means being lazy.
No.
Can I come in? No,
I
Herkle-Durkling.
don't want to think about you Durkling.
No.
Would you rather I Herkle or Durkle?
Definitely Herkle.
Herkle.
Yeah.
Durkle
Yeah, I
is
don't want
worse.
you
Durkle
Durkling.
sounds worse.
I don't know why, but it does.
does.
It does?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Herkle more than you Durkle.
Herkle sounds like vomit.
Herkle does?
Yeah, like, oh, I Herkled last
And then
night.
Durkle
Oh, so
sounds
you'd
like
rather have me
Durkle.
Herkling?
Yeah, I'd rather you Herkle than Durkle.
Yeah, because
I don't want to know about either, to be
Especially
honest.
the bed.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, don't Durkle.
You don't want to Durkle.
I think I do want a Durkle.
Over Herkle?
Yeah.
In bed?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, you might
I
want
don't
to,
wanna
but we don't want to
puke in
know
bed.
about it.
Yeah, but you don't want to Durkle.
What do you guys
what are
think?
you guys thinking
'Cause
Durkle
I'm
is?
thinking Durkling is something different than what
No.
you guys think it is.
I don't know
thinking
what it
it's-
is. I just don't like it.
What do you think it is, Brady?
A Durkling?
Yeah.
It sounds like
Like the opposite
Like,
of barfing.
no, it sounds like
Oh,
I
no,
can't
Is it
no,
the
yeah.
say the
opposite of
word.
barfing
Oh,
eating?
No, the opposite
Yeah,
of
it would be.
barfing is, oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
mean,
it's actually not barf.
no, yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm really curious as to what you guys think Durkling is.
So for me, it's like if you get a bad flu, you Herkle and you Durkle, right?
Oh.
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 Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want a Durkle in
See,
bed.
I'm
That's
thinking,
what I'm saying.
I'm thinking Durkling
is
something
the other thing I know what you mean
nicer.
now.
Yeah.
And that's why I'd much rather Durkle than
Oh,
Herkle
well,
in
then,
bed.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, for sure. But either way, I don't want. I'd rather know about you Herkling than about you Durkling.
Sure. Either way, I agree.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
no
wouldn't
matter
pat
what.
me on the back
No.
and go, nice Durkle.
While you're Durkling? No. No. I
And
won't do
even
that.
after you're done, I'm going to pat you on the
No,
back.
there's no patting. And
First
why am
off-
I in your house while you're Durkling?
Yeah, and why are you behind me patting me on the back?
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady. Find the gang on their socials. Follow at Mahler, at One True Rush, at Hot Flash Jenny, and at Brady Jones Radio.
All right, I want to talk some mind-blowing psychological facts that you're going to just be blown away by.
I enjoy that.
okay.
Okay,
You're going
let's
to
do this.
blow our minds?
Yes.
Here we
All
go.
right.
Okay.
All right, let's find out.
Maybe I won't, though.
We'll see.
Get the mind-blowing music going. This is good.
Uh-huh,
Yeah.
It's a little loud.
Oh, okay.
It's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
All right.
go.
Any friendship that you have between the ages of 16 and 28 is more likely to be long-lasting than any other friendssions you have.
Sure, that
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mind
Mind
blown.
blown.
My mind is blown. Okay.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, it was a little baby
Yeah.
blow.
We still have like our core group, the
Yeah?
girl
Sure.
group. Yeah.
But I mean, we all became friends after that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, not me. Or Brady. Brady, you were younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
was-
between 16 and 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
You,
That's
must have
true,
been
I
on
was
that age, though, right?
I think I was
Like you were-
25.
Really?
Yeah, I was 25.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have been 25 as well when I
Yeah.
started.
Well, you and I met between those ages, so.
You
yeah.
and I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Rush and I were besties.
Aw. What were?
Yeah. And then this
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, it's true though. The high school
Yeah.
friends, like, there's something special.
No,
about
it's
that
absolutely
bond.
yes. Mm.
Okay, women like deep voices on men because it's an indicator of a larger body.
Oh.
Mind blown.
And let me add on to that.
Okay.
Men prefer a higher pitched voice on women because it's representative of a smaller body.
Oh.
Okay. Less,
Weird.
less blown.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, after the first
Do you
fact,
feel
you know.
as though you have a high pitched voice?
I don't know. I think when I was younger, you know when you used to record yourself as a kid?
Yeah.
I used to record myself like singing all of my favorite songs
I'm
by like
sure.
Whitney Houston and
Yeah.
whatever. And then if I was talking, I really didn't feel like I sounded like. But now I don't know. I don't hear that anymore
Well,
in
you're
my
also
voice, so I don't
younger
know.
then.
Yeah, so,
Yeah,
you know.
but still,
I'm
do you
assuming you
remember
were
it just sounded
22.
weird?
I mean, no matter what, when you listen to your recorded voice, it's always strange.
Not anymore,
Now,
though.
But we get used to it because we
Yeah.
do it professionally and stuff. And you get used to hearing it, and it's not weird for you to hear your
I don't
voice.
know. Do
now.
I have a high pitched voice? Now I think I just went up high. I don't know.
That's because you want the smallest body. You just keep going. Anyway. By the way, who do you think of the three of us has the deepest voice on the show? Of the
You do.
guys?
I think you
Oh,
do.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
you
sure.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate my
Well,
voice.
I think you knew that, though. don't
I
think you-
didn't. I didn't really.
Mahler's
Someone's
fishing.
Someone's fishing.
Okay, then
Someone's fishing.
who's next after me then? If
I don't know.
Probably Rush.
Probably me.
Yeah, Rush and then Brady, but it's close.
I'm a little pitchy.
Yeah.
You know?
Little pitchy dog. Yeah.
women have twice as many pain receptors than men. That's why for almost every disease, women report having more severe pain.
Ah.
Yeah.
See?
Interesting.
You guys have all the pain.
I
you
know.
take it on and
Yeah.
you never complain about it.
It's true.
Yeah.
We have fewer pain receptors, yet we complain more.
Exactly.
We do, yeah. Look at man colds,
Yeah.
right?
That's right.
Which is a real thing.
Why do we?
I don't know.
I think we're less used to it.
Yeah, and that's it. We don't have the pain receptor,
Yeah.
so it's weirder for
You don't
us.
have the threshold.
And we whine.
And women are, I think, more used to, and Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, I hate to mansplain here,
no.
but I feel like you guys are more in tune with your body and you go through a lot of different things
Yeah.
regularly that we don't. And so when
Like every month?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
How's
when
your
we
life,
do
guys?
get
How
a
is your life,
cold-
guys?
We're also giant wusses.
If you exactly when you complain about a cold, I just want to be like, do you know every month what happens to our bodies?
No.
What we go through? It's
have no
not
idea.
fun. Let me tell you.
I've never been allowed in the room. One day I'll learn. How about this? Oh, I like this. Explains a lot for me.
Okay.
Intelligent people tend to have fewer friends.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that because
Why?
they're like frustrated with like stupid people, or they
it 'cause
feel
they-
like people are more stupid than they are? Or
I
something?
don't know,
Who
but I
knows?
love it.
Maybe
Yeah.
they
I have no-
socialize
I
less.
have no
Yeah.
friends.
You're
so
brilliant.
I'll take it.
That's it.
I'll
Sure.
take it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like Brady and Jenny. Well, Brady more so has a ton of friends.
Yeah.
You have a lot of friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel very lucky.
And Rush and I have very tight
Yeah,
circles.
we're smart. Brady's dumb as a post.
I'm an idiot.
Is that what you're getting at? Is that what
I
you're saying?
am dumb.
All right, let's do one or two more here. The happier you are, the less sleep you need. That's likely because people feeling more relaxed, content, and happy fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not really
I don't-
mind blowing.
No, I don't.
No.
Well, no, but I don't get it. Okay.
Is that because Jenny didn't get it? Is that it's not a big Jenny not get it?
Very small.
Just the happier you are, the less sleep you need.
Well, then
Yeah.
I should be the happiest person on the planet.
No, but you need more sleep.
Yeah. It's not that you get it. You just need more sleep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
What?
So just because you're not getting sleep doesn't mean you're happy.
Because you're not getting sleep doesn't mean you're happy.
It's
Okay.
just you need less if you're happy.
Blow her mind again, please.
There we go.
Her brain needs some air.
And sleep, apparently.
It's like a pet you bring home from the store. You got to poke some holes in
There
there.
you go. Yeah.
Make sure it can breathe.
That's right. Yeah.
And finally, people have dreaming sensations at the moment of death.
Ooh.
Okay, this could be life flashing before our eyes experience that we've heard about.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense.
yes, we do have those moments before death.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that we have
No.
flashes of
I
life?
believe that if you get hit by a semi, you're just like, there's no flash. It's just,
Oh man,
I
there's-
believe you would have a dream sequence thing. Sure, that would make
I
sense.
also
for you.
believe
Yeah.
that in like near death experiences and what we all experience when we do near death or after.
like, I think if you're sitting in a hospital bed,
Yeah.
and I think, like that's happening,
Yeah,
you might
sure.
have that kind of experience. I
Okay.
think if you're thrown out a window,
It's, I
Right.
mean,
Your
it's
brain
hard
don't-
to ask the person.
Yeah.
Just throw it out the window.
This,
so.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think
exactly.
you're right, Mahler. I believe in that. But I think these dream states that you just mentioned, I think that explains why some people have
Sure.
that like flash
exactly.
of light, right?
Yes. I don't
No.
think it happens to everybody. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you were run over by a steamroller, probably not.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
that would take quite a long time, actually. So maybe you would.
It depends, though. If it starts at your feet, yes.
That's true.
Not if it starts at your head.
That's fair.
That's rather quick.
imagine if you're just about to die though, and then your life flashes, but it's just like us sitting in the room talking about this
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
That was your like
I'd be
30
so
This is what I'm
seconds.
going out on?
Rush looking at me going, been there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. There's your life.
Yeah, I die and I flash to playing pathetic punchline. I'd be so upset. I'd be so mad.
Yeah.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
Old school landline phones, Rush, with a cord.
Rush, do you have
Yep.
a landline with a cord?
No comment.
No, okay. Oh, loser. Apparently, they're the new trendy thing for Gen Zers to own.
Oh.
A landline with a phone that has a cord.
Okay.
Retro stuff from the 90s and early 2000s is big right now in general. That also includes flip phones and original iPods.
Right.
Most established adults ditched their landline years ago because you don't need one anymore. So the New York Post asked young people to explain the fascination. Corded phones are a lot less convenient, obviously.
Yes, of
One
course they
girl
are.
called them cute and romantic. She said she loves to talk and twirl the little cord
Okay.
and says it makes her feel like she's on Sex in the City.
Okay.
The same girl said she has an answering machine too, but couldn't remember the name. She called it a voicemail machine.
A voicemail machine.
I like
okay.
that.
She also said she likes the thrill of not knowing who's calling because it doesn't have caller ID. I get that. Going back to simpler times and only having one way that somebody can get in touch with
Oh,
you.
yeah. It was great.
But you don't really want that now, though.
I don't hate the idea.
Do you remember having the extended, the super long cord where you
Yes.
could take a walk with it and like hide into like a room,
Yes.
like a closet if you needed to?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was so great.
Why were you hiding?
Oh, if
Because
you-
there was personal conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, for sure. With like your boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever.
Who likes who in high school
Oh,
and
sure,
all that
yeah.
stuff? Okay.
Oh, that
What?
reminds me of my most embarrassing moment in like grade 8 ever.
Oh,
so
would you like to
just
share?
Studying, sure. I'm pretty sure I've shared this before, but it was a classic. And I was just starting to like get to know this new group of people, and that's in the days when you would call. And the first time you really got to know somebody's like, oh, so and so is going to call you tonight, and so Dustin was going to call me that night, and I was like excited to get to know these people and whatever. And so Dustin calls me. And
Hang on, before you go
Yes,
any further, is
sure.
Dustin real?
Dustin's real.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could Dustin be listening right now?
Probably not, but it's
Okay.
possible.
You never know.
All right.
So yeah, shout out to Corey and Dustin because I think Corey called me first and then Dustin got on the phone and he's like, hey Jenny, it's Dustin. Do you like know me? And I was like, who's know me? And he was like, what?
Oh,
Like,
Jenny.
who's know me? And then my mom and my cousin, there was other people in the room listening, like they could hear what
Yeah.
just my part of the conversation, and they're both like, "Oh God, Jenny, you idiot!" Oh, anyway, so and then I was like, "Oh, Dustin, yeah, like I know you've seen her around school, haha." You know,
No.
in that age where you're so vulnerable,
Yes.
and
Sure.
you're just, you know, and I
Sure.
was like, "Who's know me?"
Who's know me?
How did it turn out with
Oh,
Dustin?
good. We were all friends for years.
That's,
No, but, like-
that's exactly what he wanted.
It was just a friend thing.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah.
It was just a friend thing. Like it
Oh.
was never anything more than that. I was just getting to know these
Are
people.
you sure now, looking back,
It was-
though, you don't
it
think
was-
Dustin
Oh,
wanted
yeah.
Of
more?
course it
No,
was.
Dustin was dating my best friend at the time, Dawn.
So, okay,
Yeah.
just wait at home. Dustin's going to call you tonight, so you're waiting. You're excited someone's going to call you, and there wasn't anything
No,
other than
I was
friendship?
excited for like Corey and that group of people
How
to
old were
call
you?
me. I was in grade 8. So what are you, 12, 13?
Yeah, something like that,
13
yeah.
maybe?
don't-
And 12 or 13.
I don't
doesn't
think
matter.
anybody, from the guy's perspective, they weren't just trying to expand their friend group. That's not what happened. No.
It was a different time. You were all just, that's the only way you communicated, right?
It wasn't long enough ago to be a different time like that. No.
Whatever happened to Dustin and Dawn?
Well, Dawn lives in Australia.
Oh.
Yeah, so she's been there for like 20 years.
When she married
Wow.
Nomi.
Nomi was hot, man.
And they're on the phone. Let's take their call on the landline.
Oh, no.
So Dawn's in Down Under?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't know actually. And then Dustin and my friend Lisa, they ended up getting married and they had kids.
Oh.
Yeah, and
Are you Facebook friends with them?
I'm Facebook friends with Lisa.
Okay.
But I don't see a lot of updates. It's one of those things that like
Okay.
I don't know where
So
they are, what
Dustin
they're
found
doing.
love in the end.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Good.
I'm
Wasn't
really-
with you, but
no. There was never a thing.
Oh, okay.
Never a thing. Who did I like? I liked. Yeah. Well, apparently, really liked him. Somebody leave her.
You don't know.
He's driving along right now to work going, she's going to say my name. I've always carried a torch for her. Say my name. Somebody leave her?
Oh.
Bueller.
Oh.
It's not Michael. I'm terrible. But no, I had my crushes for sure. Never really worked out. For
But
me,
that
though.
crush never worked out because you can't
No.
even remember the dude's
No.
name.
Exactly.
I mean, you
it's
knew it
right
at the
there.
time,
Matt
right?
Lever. Lever.
Matt.
Yeah. Shout out
Okay.
to all that group.
He just drove
Hope
off
you're
the
all well,
road.
everybody. Oh, that's terrible.
Or his wife's looking at him like, what happened between you and Jenny?
Nothing. He said I smelled good at the dance one time. That was it.
Oh. You only smell good one time?
One time. It was vanilla. So much vanilla.
Every girl that age smells
So
vanilla.
much vanilla.
Oh, it
A
was
lot
the
of vanilla.
fakest vanilla ever.
Yes.
You could get cheap at the, God, it was so
And
terrible.
it,
I was
it would
around
just
in
stay in your lungs and coat them, too. Like,
And we had vanilla lip balm and gloss and vanilla everything.
Yeah.
Vanilla was just everywhere.
Oh my
it was
God.
such a thing.
What
yeah.
memories?
I know, right? Anyway,
You-
hope you're all well.
that's nice.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
Someone polled 35,000 people and asked, do you think you're cool? And it turns out most of us do think we're a pretty cool person. 53% said they're cool. 29% said not a chance, and 17% aren't sure if they're cool or not. Men were a little more likely to say yes, and obviously age matters too. 3/4 of people under 30 think they're cool. Same goes for 2/3 of people aged 30 to 45. 43% between 45 and 65, and even 28% of seniors still describe themselves as cool.
Good for them.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Sure, I feel like there's nothing less cool than calling yourself cool.
I would agree with that,
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I think if somebody like Matthew McConaughey said, I'm cool.
Yep.
I'd be like, no, that's cool. Like, he can get away with it.
That's
He can,
true.
Sure.
Yes.
But he's just like a good soul. He's a good person. He's not cocky.
Yes, that's fine. But
Yeah.
again, people would think of him as a cool guy.
Right, but
Yeah.
also if you were to say he wasn't cool, we'd all be like, shut up, Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, you're
Obviously
right.
You're cool,
Yes, that's right.
you know?
You know you're cool. Just say
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
exactly.
So wouldn't you agree then with your statement, Brady? It depends on who's saying it?
Yes.
I guess.
I think so.
Because there's a lot of people out there that are really cool that can say that they're cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's also people who are.
But it's still, even Matthew McConaughey, I don't think would call himself cool. I don't think he
He'd say,
would.
"I'm just
I
human,
agree
man."
with you that people would be like, yeah, you are. You're just saying that. But I think he
think
would.
he might.
If you said, are you a cool guy? He'd say, well, I'm an interesting guy. I'm an inquisitive guy. I'm
Yeah.
a curious guy.
And what is
doing that
no?
and
What
doing
he
our
would
thing.
say is,
Yeah.
"What is cool? Who
Yeah, sure.
defines cool?
Man,
what does
that's
cool
such a cool
mean?"
answer.
You
But for
know?
him to go and say, yes, I'm cool, no, he wouldn't do that.
Do you think there's like a litmus test for cool? Like, is it like, can you wear a leather jacket?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's the Fonzie test.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Would you guys
So
say you're
dated.
cool?
See, when you started the story, I thought to myself, for sure there's an age bracket.
Yeah.
Like, so I consider myself to be cool within a narrow age bracket.
Okay.
I'm not overly cool. I don't dress cool or anything like that, but I think I'm just, I feel like I'm cool just
Okay.
with my attitude with my kids and
Yeah.
everything like that. I'm passable.
Okay. Yeah.
What about you guys?
No,
Anybody no.
if someone said you're cool, I'd say, no, I'm there.
No.
I'm just kind of around.
I would say that too.
Yeah.
I would never say I was cool.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
think I'm like cool.
See, I would say I'm
enough
weird.
about everything.
Yeah, I don't think
Not
people
cool.
would go up and be like, "Wow, he's a cool guy."
Yeah.
No, I agree with you there.
No, so, no.
But I truly mean when, like, define cool for me, and then I can tell you if I am or not. But I don't know what is cool, right? Like, for me, cool would mean more about who you are as a person and how you handle certain situations. Like, that to me is a cool person. But are we talking physically cool? Like,
No, but
Yeah.
for you, for example,
Yeah.
I think a lot of our listeners would think it's cool that you play golf.
okay.
Like that's a cool
Okay.
trait of yours.
Okay. Okay.
Like I think
see
you
what
can,
you're saying.
If you're gonna rate it out of 5, like how many Fonzies are you out of 5? Are you 3 out of 5?
First of all, kids,
What is a
Fonzie
Fonzie?
No one knows.
is a
Seriously.
character from a 70s sitcom.
I just
And
picture
you're
the little
officially-
Henry Winkler heads.
Right. You're officially uncool. Henry Winkler.
Yeah.
No one knows who that is either.
Listen, Barry. But like, are you 3 out of 5 cool? Are
Yeah,
you 2 out of
maybe.
5?
Or let
Maybe a
me
three.
throw this
Yeah.
into the mix. We have a cool job.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So that by default sometimes makes us cooler than what we actually are.
I think that
Right.
automatically gives you like a 2 out of 5.
Okay.
If
Two
you can
Fonzies?
2 Fonzies
And
out
then
of
at
5.
golf, I'm at a 3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
There you
I'll
go.
take a 3 out of 5 coolness.
No, and I also think attractiveness has something to do with
Does
being
it?
cool too. Yeah.
Oh, so now I'm back down to
No, I was gonna say, like to me, I think a listener would say Jenny is cool.
Oh, thank you. Nobody
No?
else is speaking up.
I'm the only one. Okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people think Brady's cool.
But I think
Yeah.
it's all
Sure.
relative based on compared to what and in what context.
That's what I'm
and-
saying.
Yeah.
But just overall,
Overall coolness
whatever
factor.
the factors are.
Yeah.
Somebody would say, "Oh, I heard Brady Jones. Oh, yeah, he's cool."
Yeah.
I think all 4 of us are
cool in
could
our
be
own
considered.
right.
Exactly.
I think there's an assumption that's made based on our job, and I think that's nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, we
And
don't
again,
have to try so hard because our job
That's
helps
right. We get 2
By
Fonzies.
default, we get that.
Like,
get it.
when I think I'm cool, I'm talking about my parents say I'm cool, and I just go with that.
Yeah.
Wow, this has to be the biggest compliment. We just got a text coming in from Summer. She said last night her son, who's turning 10 this year, out of nowhere said, "Mom, you're pretty cool."
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a compliment.
It's from your kids.
Yeah, that's
from your
you.
kids.
I
It's like
troll
the
my
ultimate.
kids all the time. I say, "I'm pretty cool, right?" And they go, "Yeah, what's for dinner?"
So the answer is not yes. Okay. Right. Fair
No,
enough.
they say it. They go, "Yeah." Anyway,
Yeah. No, I don't get cool. I just get told all the time that I'm weird. Like, Rory will be like, "Mom, you're so weird." And I'm like, I know, and embrace the weird. I embrace the weird. Don't ever apologize
oh,
for
now
being
you're
weird.
not being cool.
I know.
No, this
I
is
know I'm
amazing.
not cool, and I'm never
So you're
going
going
to try.
really far in the wrong
Yeah, I
direction.
do.
Yeah.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
Would you date someone who obsessively collects, like, I don't know, like Stanley tumblers, or, you know, is that becoming a red flag?
I'm married.
If somebody,
That's a lot of money to buy a lot of
That
those,
is.
right?
That's true
Yeah.
too. Even worse though, if you can barely make ends meet, but they have 25 Stanleys. You know?
Exactly, yeah.
Everyone on the dating scene has at least one deal breaker, but people online are talking specifically about hobbies that are red flags.
Oh, okay.
And I have a few of them to share with you. Pranking people, particularly mean-spirited pranks,
Yeah.
Are we kind of pranked out with TikTok now? Like,
right? And that
most of them are just set
so
up now.
fake.
Oh yeah. Some of them are
So
so fake. It depends. Like I wouldn't mind dating someone who made like prank the family and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
silly things. But as long as everybody's having a good time at the end,
And
right?
you don't
Yeah.
have to record every prank, by the way.
Sure, right,
Right,
exactly.
yes.
It could be
Oh yeah.
authentic.
If we were like one of those prank couples on TikTok that pranked each other and recorded everything, I would hate that. That's my worst
there's
nightmare.
one couple, the wife scares the husband, and I want to believe it's real
Yeah.
because but his high pitched scream is very similar to Derek's. Where it's like, you know, like it goes really high.
Yeah.
Can Derek
And-
go one day without getting thrown under the bus? One
Tell
day.
it that he's like
One
that.
day.
But I said to Rory, we were watching, I think it was America's Funniest Home Videos. And they were pranking each other. And I'm like, we really need to prank Derek more because we would get his scream every time. Like his
Yeah, but
high-pitched
after
scream.
like 2 weeks of doing it, he's gonna be on edge.
Nope.
The-
He
He'd
would
be-
not see it coming, I'm telling you.
Oh,
No, but
God.
he'd be on edge thinking the next one's coming. if
Yeah,
you did it
exactly.
For 2 weeks straight.
You wanna go viral?
And he'd say, no,
No,
Okay, some other deal breakers, hobby deal breakers. Being obsessed with celebrity culture, especially worshiping celebrities.
Yeah,
I would hate
worshiping them.
that.
I mean, what we do, we kind of have to be involved
Yeah.
with that. But
We can know it and not be obsessed
yeah,
with it,
sure,
though,
I agree.
right? Being obsessed with politics,
Yeah,
particularly when it's rage and hate fueled.
Yeah,
Oh,
no
yeah,
thanks.
yeah.
No, there's a line and sort of like a
Sure.
healthy amount of
Yeah.
knowledge versus just feeling rage
right.
constantly.
Especially if your political views aren't your own views, they're hating other people, like hating the other side. You know
Right.
what I mean?
That's
I
where
feel
we're
like
at now.
Exactly.
Nobody knows policies.
No.
All they know is I have to
I
hate
don't
that
like
team.
that team.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But you don't
exactly.
even know about your team.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay, collecting controversial memorabilia. So that could be things involving like serial killers or things with hateful symbols
Oh,
or
no
anything like
thanks.
that. No,
That is a-
taxidermy.
That is a deal breaker.
For sure. Taxidermy would creep me
That
out.
taxidermy would creep me out. What
Anything
about like
stuffed.
what about like a hunter? Could you date a hunter?
Yeah.
Okay, and he
Yeah.
had a big moose that he hunted, that he killed, and it's over the fireplace.
Listen, I lived in Fort Francis. All my friends were hunters, and that's their
but
thing.
if
that
every
they're-
room in your house just had heads of animals everywhere,
Oh,
it would just
God.
be kind of.
It's very
it'd be
rustic.
a lot.
Very rustic. I just have to work with it. And being on social media or being a social media influencer.
Oh, that would be exhausting.
That would, because it's
Yeah.
so much work. It's nonstop.
Like you couldn't go on vacation and just enjoy your vacation.
it.
That
Yeah.
would drive me nuts.
Exactly.
And pictures of every meal.
Oh yeah, yeah.
no,
you
no,
just want to
no.
live in the moment,
Yeah.
right? I would- oh, yeah.
Exactly. Gambling, both the financial risk and the personality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Smoking weed, and a few people said drinking. Again, not occasionally partaking. It's making a hobby or something
Right.
out of it.
If
where
that's
it's
your
become
whole
a problem.
personality.
I wonder who I'm
Exactly.
looking at here.
What? Who's someone behind me?
What is it? Oh,
Somebody behind me.
There's no one there.
around.
No, it's him. Brady would be my deal breaker.
occasionally partake.
I cannot date Brady. Sorry, buddy.
I don't want to date you either.
Well,
you
know
and all
I
your
love you.
pranks.
I love you and my pranks. And all my moose heads.
Hang on, I like Moosehead. Oh, you're not talking about the beer. My bad. Oh, that's my bad.
See?
And finally, these two go hand in hand. People who are so extreme and obsessive about their hobbies that it consumes all their time, and it's
Yeah.
basically a requirement that everyone around them shares an interest in that
Sure.
hobby.
Yeah.
Which is more than a hobby. It's
Yeah.
an
It's
your
addiction
life.
or an obsession,
Yeah.
right?
Everything
Yeah.
in moderation, right?
Yeah. And then finally, no, there's one more. Sorry. People who have zero hobbies. Yeah, that'd be a red flag.
That
You
would
want
be a
some-
red flag?
I think so. You have to enjoy something outside of.
I don't think I have any hobbies.
Yeah, you do. You like golfing?
Sure,
And-
but very casually.
Yeah, but I
you
think
know what mean?
even like pop culture is a hobby.
Yes.
You know, you
Oh,
watch like
God, help
TV
me.
is it's a hobby. Like you're
Music. You're into music, and
Yeah.
you know
Oh
you know
my
so
God.
much about music.
I wouldn't date me the way you're describing. Oh my god, I'm so bored.
No, No, but I would rather you have no hobbies than a destructive hobby. Put it that way.
Sure.
What does
Right?
destructive hobby mean?
Well, like gambling, drinking,
Oh.
drugs, all that stuff.
They're taking
Anything
sledgehammers
destructive.
to windshields.
And stop looking at me when you're listing the destructive hobbies. What is this, therapy?
At least you balance them out, Brady.
The Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
That time of the week where we like to play this.
Let's get to know the morning hot tub just a little bit better. Now it's time for POV of the TUB on the morning hot tub with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady.
All right, our point of view on something that, well, won't matter in the end.
Nope.
You'll get to work, have a coffee, and go, what was I listening to? And that's okay.
It's fine.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice note to think about John Candy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the greatest actors, comedic actors in a generation, for sure. He passed away at the age of 43.
So young, yeah.
So young.
Very,
yeah.
very young.
Yeah.
Seems like it was about 10 years ago. It was actually 30 years ago this week.
Crazy.
He passed away in 1994. So we thought we'd go around and choose our favorite John Candy performance.
This is hard to do.
Yeah.
This was
I
hard.
know it's hard for
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
And in fact, what you picked surprised me over something else.
Oh, really?
I think, because I was listening to your computer of
Yes.
clips you were playing, and I
Yeah.
think I know what you're gonna go with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
We'll see. So my favorite movie of all time is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
I didn't choose anything from that movie because the entire movie is just
Yes.
a
So
classic, and
brilliant.
I just
Very
loved
good,
it all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I went to one of the funniest scenes I thought he was a part of. It was in Uncle Buck, another great movie.
Yeah.
And with Macaulay Culkin and the interrogation scene.
Yes, that
Yes.
is such.
Great
It was
scene.
between the two
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah,
for sure.
very, very, very iconic.
Yeah.
Where do you live?
In the city.
Do you have a house?
Apartment.
Own or rent?
Rent.
What do you do for a living?
Lots of things.
Where's your office?
I don't have one.
How come?
I don't need one.
Where's your wife?
Don't have one.
How come?
It's a long story.
Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
How come?
It's an even longer story.
Are you my dad's brother?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
38.
I'm your dad's brother, all right.
You have much more hair on your nose than my dad.
How nice of you to notice.
I'm a kid. That's my job.
It is a good scene.
I love that.
So good.
That's so good.
I wonder how many takes that would have
I
taken.
know,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Macaulay Culkin was a fantastic child
He
actor.
was,
absolutely,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So good.
Particularly in that movie, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
he's
I
really
love
good.
Uncle Buck too, but
Yeah.
there you go. Rush, what about you? Your POV on the TUB.
I agree with you that Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the entire movie is fantastic. So I went from that, and
Oh,
I
good.
did not go with the pillows,
Right.
they're not pillows scene.
Yeah.
That seemed too obvious. To me, one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie is when they're driving and the car catches on fire, and then afterwards they get pulled over for driving this dilapidated vehicle, and just, that scene.
Funnily enough, I was just talking to my friend about that. Our speedometer's melted, and as a result, it's very hard to say with any degree of accuracy exactly how fast we were going.
78 miles an hour.
78, huh? Well, yeah, I could buy that, sure, I guess. You would know better than us, especially since we got a melted speedometer.
I love that.
It's really good. There's actually two scenes that float around on YouTube that weren't in the movie. One where John Candy's smoking and eating at the same time. And they go, how did
God.
he do that? But he did. It's very funny.
Yeah. Wow.
Another one where he takes off his socks on the plane.
Yes.
Yes.
And it's really good as well. So.
That's a
Good
great
choice,
movie.
Rush.
So good.
Really good. Jenny.
Okay, for me, it was Uncle Buck, one of my favorite movies of all times. I also loved everything else he did. Really, I was
Yeah.
a big John Fandy fan.
You were
John
John
Fandycan.
Fandycan.
Yeah, you big John Fandycan.
Yeah.
you were one of the few that like Summer Rental.
Summer Rental.
Isn't that the one you? Oh no,
No.
The Great Outdoors.
The Great Outdoors.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
that movie. Love
Summer
that
Rental,
movie.
same movie.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
No, but I went with one of my favorite scenes of all time. He's just brilliant in it. And it's in Uncle Buck when he gets called to Maisie's principal's office, and it's the interaction that he has with the principal.
I'm Anita Horgar.
Buck melanoma. Molly Russell's wart. Not her wart. Not her wart. I'm the wart. She's my tumor. My growth. My pimple. I'm Uncle Wart. Just old Buck Wart Russell. That's what they call me. Or melanoma head. They'll call me that. Melanoma head's coming.
Good.
So
Yeah.
Because she's got a big,
Yeah.
big
Yeah.
nipple.
And Brady
it.
Jones, your POV.
So John Candy was before my time. I don't know a ton of like John Candy. I've seen like the classics. I've seen Uncle Buck and I've seen Planes, Trains, and Automobile, but I don't have that same like nostalgia for him necessarily, except for one movie because I loved Star Wars as a kid. So I really liked.
That's what I thought you were going to
go
go.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
He played Barf in Spaceballs. That whole movie, I thought it was like the funniest thing when I was a kid. But I particularly loved because it is like such like an 8-year-old's humor when they jam the radars and they like literally jam the radar.
Not if we jam it.
Radar about to be jammed.
The radar, sir. It appears to be jammed. Raspberry.
So dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb, but it's
again,
so good.
8-year-old's humor.
Oh,
Yeah, for sure.
That is awesome.
And shouted even to like Cool Runnings.
Right?
Such a
Great
great
He was
movie.
so good in that too. So you thought I was gonna go
Spaceballs.
Spaceballs, okay?
For sure.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, Jenny, because you love him, Home Alone.
Yeah,
Home
he was
Alone.
great
Scene
in
in that
that.
too,
It was
yes.
a small part, but he was in it.
He
Yeah.
improvised that whole scene, eh?
He did.
Yeah, he and
love
Catherine
that.
O'Hara worked together at SCTV.
Yeah.
And it was 4:30 in the morning when they filmed it, and they just let the cameras roll, and they
And they went
improvised
with
the
it.
whole thing. Yeah.
That
that's
is
cool.
awesome.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
So there you go, John
God.
Candy passing away this very week at the age of 43 back in 1994.
If you like what you just heard, tell someone. They can listen to the Hot Tub Podcast with Mahler, Rush, Jenny, and Brady wherever podcasts are found. And if you didn't like what you heard, that's cool. Cool. All right, yeah.